Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the difference between bronzing and contouring broken down for beginners. And I just want to put a disclaimer that I am not a MUA, I'm not certified, I never took no makeup classes, but this is my take and my opinion on the difference between bronzing and contouring and why you do those things. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so I want to start off barefaced to show you guys where you typically would bronze or contour your face. And so basically, as you can see, flat on, straight on, minus all of my studio lighting, there's certain areas of your face that have a natural shadow or cast a natural shadow or is naturally highlighted. So for instance, with the exception of my under eye bags, which typically some people have dark circles under the eyes because it's either genetic, they tired, what have you. But you can see like this area of my face is bright, right? So that's where the light like bounces off of. It's more pronounced portions of my face. The tip of my nose is a closer in the depth of field, which is basically how close or far you are from a certain plane. If the plane is right here, like my nose is more pronounced. So I'm gonna try to show you guys from the side. If you like put a plane line like here, like the things that point out are like my lips, Cupid's bow area, the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, the center of my forehead, and then the planes of my face that are further back. So like my hairline, the sides of my nose, my jawline. Those are the things that you want to look at when it comes to highlighting and contouring. For highlighting, you want to highlight the areas where the light bounces off of your face initially. So that's going to be these brighter areas right here. Like I said, the bridge of the nose, the top of the nose, the bridge of the nose, the like point of your nose, the forehead, and sometimes even your chin. And the brow bones are also areas where people like to make sure that they're brought forward. And then as far as the places where you want to contour or bronze, those are going to be more of the natural shadow areas. So like this portion of my face is naturally a little bit darker than this portion. The hairline up here is darker than here. The sides of my nose are darker than the bridge of my nose. Kind of up in here is a little bit darker. That's why sometimes you see people contouring up here. Right up under the lip, you see some people contour right up under the lip because that's also an area that casts a natural shadow. The whole entire jawline casts a shadow. So those are the places that you want to look to when it comes to highlighting versus bronzing and contouring. Just a general statement, the purpose is to add dimension back into your face. So once you put your foundation on, which I'll apply foundation here shortly to show you the difference. Once you put foundation on, it kind of makes your face all the same color and it almost makes it seem two-dimensional. So the purpose of highlighting and bronzing and contouring is to add the dimension back to your face. That being said, I'm going to do foundation over my entire face, and then we'll come back and I will show you guys the areas where I highlighted, because I can do a highlighting video separately. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. Hashtag highlight poppin'. If you guys want to see a video where I show you guys why you highlight, where you highlight, the difference between concealing and highlighting, okay? If that's something you want to see, hashtag highlight poppin' in the comment section below. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my foundation for you guys. Okay, so this is my face with just foundation on. I switched it up from my usual and I used my Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, and this is in the shade 385. As you can see, like, it's just all one color. Now obviously you can kind of see the shadows on my face from the lighting that I have in here, but generally if you just put foundation on, you don't do any highlighting, any contouring, any bronzing, your face looks very flat, very one-dimensional. It just looks like a clean slate, which this might be the look you're going for, but if you want to take it up a notch, if you want to add a little razzle dazzle and add some dimension back into the face, that's when highlighting and contouring comes into play. So because I'm not going to go into detail about highlighting on this video, I am going to go ahead and apply like some concealer. I'm going to go in with the Old Faithful of mine, which is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And the areas that I'm highlighting are just the lighter areas of the face that I previously mentioned to you. Also, again, if you guys want to see like the highlight and conceal video, hashtag highlight poppin' in the comments below. And we can also talk about how to select your concealer shade in that video, because a lot of you guys have been asking that question as well. Okay, so I highlighted my face with concealer, so you can probably kind of tell like it's a little bit brighter up under the eye area, bridge of the nose, forehead, and chin. So now on to what we are here to talk about today, which is the difference between bronzing and contouring. So first, I want to start off with sharing with you guys the different types of bronzers. So there's powder bronzers that come in like palettes like this. These brown shades are like your powder bronzers. There are cream bronzers. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, which is like a cream bronzer as well. There are people who bronze with liquid foundations. There are also people who bronze with concealers, people who bronze with foundation sticks. Literally, a lot of different products can be used for multiple things. And the moral of the story for me is, if you are trying to like bronze or contour your face, all you need is a product that is the shade in which you are looking to use to bronze or contour. For me, the main difference between the two is the purpose of bronzing versus contouring, as well as the shade that you use. So on my left side, we have bronzing, and I feel like the purpose of bronzing is used to warm up I wrote down notes so I don't forget. It's used to warm up the face and typically it's brought a little bit closer to the cheek area and the forehead area. Like, you can go ham bronzing and not look crazy or bad. And like I said, again, it's mainly used to warm up your face, to give you like a sun-kissed look. So in my opinion, bronzers are going to be a little bit more with either a reddish undertone or an orangish undertone, or it'll coincide with your foundation undertone. So if you're warm or cool, I feel like the bronzer kind of aligns with whatever your undertone is, but typically it might be a little bit more on the red or orange side because it's used to like warm up the face. On the right hand side, your left, my right, contouring, for me, in my opinion, is used to add dimension and depth back to the face. So basically to put back the natural shadows where the face is further back on the depth field. So again, like I said, when I'm turned sideways, like my jawline area, all that is further back on the depth of field. And you're just adding those natural shadows back to the face. So you're gonna contour your face when you're looking to chisel your face or contour your nose. Like, typically people don't be like, I'm gonna bronze my nose. They be like, I'm gonna contour my nose, because they're trying to make it look narrower. They're trying to slim it, make it look slimmer, or they're trying to shape it a certain way. And the way that you do that is by adding shadows back to the face. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna contour on this side of my face. I'm gonna contour on this side of the face. bronze on this side of the face and kind of show you the difference. So yeah, so I like to use cream products or liquid products. Typically I use either a foundation stick or a concealer to contour and bronze. Whichever one I do, I'm typically going to use a concealer or a foundation stick. It's completely up to you what you want to use. If I'm moving quickly and I just want to do a powder contour or a powder bronze, I'll do that. You don't necessarily have to do both, but in my opinion, I heard someone say this the other day, like if you wet it, if it's wet, you gotta set it. If you wet it, you gotta set it. So if I use like a cream bronzer, typically I always set it with a powder bronzer. Now, I know you're like, well, ain't that double duty? Can't you just do powder? Yes, you can just do powder. It's completely up to you. Everything is your preference, okay? So it's totally up to you. So one example of a product I use for contour is the Black Opal True Color foundation stick, skin perfecting foundation stick. This is more of a shade that's giving shadow. So on the bronze side, I told you those are typically with warm, reddish, orangish undertones. For contouring, in my opinion, those are going to be more of your maybe greenish, slightly grayish undertones, like those muted neutral undertones where it's just adding shadow to your face. So this is one that I like to use when it comes to contouring. I also like my Makeup by Mario contour stick. Milk Makeup also has like bronzing sticks. And this is a bronzing stick, but it's also this is leaning more towards a contour shade for me. This is a matte bronzer as well. So you have some shimmer bronzers and some matte bronzers. Matte bronzers can kind of check the box for contour as well if it's the right shade. So this on the packaging says matte bronzer, but this shade for me, I could also use it as a contour stick. So yes, so you can also use like liquid concealers. This is Juvia's Place concealer. I would definitely use this to contour because it's more of a neutral undertone. And the one that I always use is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. And this one's a little bit warmer, so I would use this to bronze. So I guess I'm gonna use a liquid and a cream or stick on both sides, so you guys can kind of see the difference in how they blend and all those things. So this my left, your right is gonna be the bronze side. And I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is in the shade 420 Cocoa. And I am going to apply some on the side of my nose. So this is the bronze side. I'm going to apply some on this side of my forehead. And I'm just going to do a touch on the jawline. I usually don't do jawline because I have a fairly chiseled face. So it's not necessary for me to add jawline, but if you have a rounder face, depending on the shape of your face is where you're gonna place like your bronzer, your contour. Typically for bronzer, I place it higher up on the cheek, almost where I would add blush, so it can really warm up the face. Contour is gonna be like in the hollows. So I added the liquid concealer for bronzer on this side of the face. Right here where I would typically bronzer contour, I'm gonna take my my shade stick from Juvia's Place. This is Zombia. This one's a little bit warmer, which is why I say it kind of serves as a bronzer, and I just put this kind of higher up on my cheekbone. Now, on the contrary, I have this Juvia's Place liquid concealer that I would consider more of a contour shade because it's a little bit more neutral. It's also darker, clearly. But I'm going to put some of this, the same places that I put on this side. This is a bit dark. Your contour does not have to be this dark, because sometimes it can get muddy if you go too dark. So typically you want to go a shade, 1 to 2 shades, 1 to 2, maybe 3, pushing it, shades darker than your skin tone for like your bronzer and contour shade. I think that looks the most natural. This side over here is gonna look super harsh because this is way too dark for me to be using. But you can still make this work, but the less product the better if you're going super dark. So you could tell, like, this is where I would recommend staying in this range. This is gonna give you super natural bronzy. This is gonna give you a little bit more chiseled but still kind of natural. This is gonna give like snatch. Okay, so for the stick on this side, I'm gonna take my black opal true color foundation stick, and I'm just gonna put that in like the hollow of my cheek. So this one is further down in the hollow of my cheek. This one is higher up. So I like to use my Morphe brush to blend out like my bronzer and contour. This is actually the foundation brush, the Filter Effect foundation brush. But I like to use this because I feel like it sits perfectly like in the crevices of my face. So I'm gonna blend out the bronzer side first, just because it's a lighter shade and I'll be using the same brush. But you just want to blend that out. And you also have to be careful doing your jawline, because you have to then blend that into your neck. So if you have your neck is darker than your face and you bronze down here, then that sets you up for a nice gradient to the neck. But say if your neck is light like mine, you want to be careful bronzing down here, because if you're bronzing darker than your skin tone, then you're gonna have a line of demarcation to your neck. So that's why typically I don't bronze or contour my jawline. I usually just let it be my foundation into my neck. So like my bronzer, I keep this higher up on the cheekbone and bring it in, because it's used to warm up the face. And then I like to buff it into my hairline as well, because as you saw when I didn't have any makeup on, like my forehead is naturally darker than like the center of my face. So if you put that's why nowadays I don't apply foundation to like my forehead area, because by the time I apply my concealer right here and I apply my bronzer or a contour shade, like that covers the full surface area of my face. So there's no need for me to waste more foundation and put it on my forehead when I'm gonna be basically bronzing and highlighting the whole surface area. Okay, so this side, as you can see, that completely transformed like how flat my face was looking. And now you have some dimension, you have warmth, I look healthy, I look warm. Like this is giving everything, like it's giving. So now I'm gonna switch to the other side, and this is the side where we contoured. So again, similar placement, don't get me wrong, similar placement, especially for me. Similar placement. But this is giving more shadow than warmth. This is if you want them cheekbones snatch, jawline snatch, and you want to look like you were built like a Rubik's Cube. This is why. And as you can see, because this one's lower and chisels, it gives a different look. You see, my face looks narrower on this side towards the bottom. But you can also, it's up to you where you place these. It's literally, makeup is art. So there's no, technically there's no right or wrong answer. There's ways people recommend you should do stuff. And I don't know why I let this, cause that Juvia's Place concealer cannot just like sit, cause baby, it don't move once it dry. So I just sprayed a little bit of setting spray on my brush to kind of help move that around a little bit. But as you can see, for the contour side, I don't like to take it down too far on my forehead. Sometimes I do, just because I have a big forehead and I want it to not look as big. But this side is giving more like natural shadows on my face. You could tell the undertone is different. It's just giving shadows. And this side is just giving warmth, vivacious, alive. Let me blend out this side without it getting too muddy. But this is the contour side. It looks like super snatched. Also, by the way, I think this is my good side for sure. When I did the Fenty versus Rare Beauty on my face, I was like, wow, like this is my good side. This is not so much. This is the bronze side. It's warmer. It's giving. This side is like warmer. It's warmer. It's giving alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. This side is giving like snatched. It's just giving snatched. But as you can see, this side is also like more so how makeup was done a little while ago. So I don't really feel like people it's not currently trending to like super contour your face, unless, like I said, you're sculpting your face out intentionally because you have a round face and you want it to be a little bit more snatched. Like typically that's when I see people contouring on the regular. For me, I love this bronze look. I like looking warm. I don't need too much chiseling, so I like the warm look on my face. But contouring the nose is something that has not like went out the window. A lot of people like to contour their nose, so like this side looks like a lot more defined than the bronze side, but the bronze side still does it for me. Like I'm okay with that. So again, you can always reverse contour and clean up your contour by like adding your concealer on the sides of the nose like this. And this also helps you clean up if you have like a muddy contour or something. And you also see people who put concealer under like that to reverse contour the face. So those are other options as well. Like if you don't have a contour shade or something like that, you can go in with that concealer and reverse contour, and that kind of helps chisel your face too. And it also helps clean up, say if you drug your contour down too low, it helps clean it up. So I have not set my face or anything. I'll set it real quick just so you can get like a true idea of what your face looks like once it's fully done. So again, if you wet it, set it. So I set the highlighted portions of the face with a loose setting powder. And I don't always powder contour. Sometimes I just use like a natural or a neutral matching face powder. If you want super full coverage, you can use like the Fenty Beauty powder. But so I'm just using this to wipe off that excess powder. Okay, so that is what my face looks like set. Again, this is the bronze side. This is the contour side, a little bit more chiseled, a little bit more precise. This side is a little bit just like warmer. So this is the final look. This is what my makeup looks like. Again, let me know which side y'all prefer. Do y'all prefer the bronze side or do y'all prefer the contour side? Like this side is giving chisel. So you see that smile that it'll cut you. This side is just giving, she's soft, she's glam. So that's my take on bronzing versus contouring. Let me know what y'all think the difference is in the comment section below. And again, don't forget to hashtag highlight poppin' if you guys want to know the difference between highlighting, concealing, and like what concealer shade should you use, all those things. Comment that down below. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all never forget, at the end of the day, without regrets, love yourself and be you. Tifo. Bye y'all.
It's Slim Reshae, natural beauty. Oh, oh, oh. It's Slim Reshae, all about natural beauty. Yeah, Slim Reshae.